This video is about to be cozy as hell. I love this jar. I love the TBR jar. This is when things start to taper off a little bit. I love jar. My 2000s rom-coms gals unite. This book is... I need a minute. I'm excited. I'm dying. I feel like any other outcome would just be too unsatisfying at this point. Summer is over. Hey guys, happy September. We've made it. We've made it to the cozy bookish months. There is something so bookish coded about autumn. We already all know that. So it really feels like this bookish monthly reset is kind of setting the tone for not just like September's bookish month, but for like the whole season. It's also absolutely horrific weather, super windy, super rainy. We aren't going outside. We are having a very cozy bookish day at home. And as always, you guys know the drill by now, but this is the video in the month where we get our whole hobby in order. And we just really celebrate this hobby that we love so much as a whole, not just the reading components. So for this video, for this month, we have a lot to get through. I wanna take you through my August reading wrap up and talk to you about all the books I read in August and what I thought, which ones I'd recommend, which ones I wouldn't. This wrap up will probably be especially useful for my Southern Hemisphere girlies that are going into their spring summer. There are some such good ones in here, but also useful for any of my fellow Northern Hemisphere girls that want to add stuff to their summer TBR for next year. We're going to go through August reads. Of course, we're going to do the journal updates. I also really, as part of the journal updates, want to do a review of the bookish goals that I set for this entire year, because we're now into like the final stretch of 2025, so I want to see how we're doing against our goals for the year and see if there's anything I need to do to make sure that we hit those by the time we get to December. We also need to select our TBR for September. We're really doing it all in this video. We also need to select our TBR for September, and I also want to choose a book and actually have some cozy reading time as well. It's such a perfect day for cozy reading today, and I think the weather's going to be the same tomorrow, so I think just across the day and tomorrow we're going to get some cozy reading in, tons of book recs, choosing new books for the season, journal updates. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, it's going to be lovely. First thing on my to-do list that I want to do right now is actually finish listening to the audiobook of Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is the second book after Icebreaker in, I think, is it called like the Maple Hill series? I've only got 50 minutes left, and I'm gonna just cheat a little bit, and I want to finish this book and include it in my August wrap up so that I can really start my September reads a little bit more neatly. I feel like to include this book in my September reads is inaccurate because I listened to literally all of it, like all of the 9 hours, apart from the final 50 minutes in August. So I'm gonna get that finished now, include that in my reviews for my August wrapper, and we're just gonna have a lovely cozy couple of bookish days together. So grab yourself a cozy drink, pause this, go make yourself a cup of tea, get yourself a coffee, whatever it is, maybe even light a candle, I don't know, but set the vibe because we're hunkering down. This video is about to be cozy as hell. Let's do it. Okay, Wildfire is officially finished. Apparently the sun is now out. This weather is all over the place. But let's talk about all of the books that I read in August. First up with the stats. They're very simple stats this month. We read 9 books in the month of August. Every single one was a romance, and one of them was a DNF. So let's get straight into it. I'm actually gonna start with the DNF because honestly it was such a strong month. I feel like this one book kind of taints it. So let's just get it out of the way and then we can be all hyped about all the other books that I read in August. And the DNF is, I don't even want to talk about it. The DNF is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. To be honest, this could have easily sat in July's DNF. Like it could have been a DNF for July and maybe even June. I can't even remember when I started trying to read this. I've been trying to get through this for months, and the truth is I'm just not interested, which I think says quite a lot for me because I feel like I read some books that don't really have a lot of plot, that don't really have a lot kind of going on, but there was just something about this book that I just truly didn't care about like the plot, I guess, of the book, or really about Margaret's chapters. So it's a super brief synopsis. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail, but basically it's about two writers that are both competing for one job, and the job that they're competing for is to write the life story, the memoir of a very famous woman who used to be in the public eye but has vanished or has been gone from the public eye for a very long time and is finally ready to tell her story. A lot of the book, or half of the book, is Margaret's story. I don't know, I found it really difficult to either be fully immersed in Margaret's story or fully immersed in the romance, and I wish I could have just read one book, stopped it, and then read the other book. And I wish they were just two completely different books, and I probably would have enjoyed both of them. For now, it's a DNF. Maybe I'll pick it up again. I feel like this might be one of my first true DNFs where I really have no interest in picking it up, or there's just so many books on my shelf that I'm so curious to read, and this one I gave up. So I feel very guilty about it. I do believe it's a good book, which is why it's a DNF, and I'm not going to try and rate it. It just wasn't for me. Anyway, that is the one DNF of the month. I'm going to put that aside. And now we can talk about all the really good books that I read in August, because we set a goal when we did our August monthly reset to get all of the summer contemporary romances read so that we could start reading other things when this month came around, and boy did we. Boy did we. Where should we start? Okay, this is another one I can do relatively quickly. We did a reread my favourite Emily Henry book. 5 stars, 6 stars. I think it's perfect. No notes. Now I want the TBR jar to choose more rereads for me in the future, because this was so much fun to reread. I'm really doing this in no logical order whatsoever. But the next book that I'm going to talk to you about is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Now, I didn't vlog reading this book at all, but oh my gosh, guys, I loved it. This book was so good. My first ever Carly Fortune, and the relationship between Percy and Sam was so cute. It's childhood friends to lovers. The conflict at the end I 100% saw coming, but still was like just tough to read. It is very The Summer I Turned Pretty coded. If anyone is loving that at the moment and wants to read a book that gives them similar vibes, like not the same, but similar vibes, it was so fantastic. And I actually find this very hard to rate. I think I'm gonna give it 4.5. I don't have a really good reason why I'm docking it 5%. I just think, I guess it didn't ever make me cry. It just didn't have the 5-star feeling, which is why I'm docking it 0.5. But it was so good. I recommend it so much. All of the summery feels, it was so atmospheric. I really could picture all of it. Like I can picture the houses, I can picture the lake, I can picture the boat, I can picture the tavern, like all of it's so vivid in my mind, and that is a sign of good writing and good storytelling, and I loved it. So I read this, and then I don't have the physical copy yet, but I need to get it. I then read One Golden Summer, which is the second book and about the other brother. I love Charlie. I knew I'd love Charlie, okay? I knew I'd love Charlie because I love me like a confident golden retriever, sunshiny MMC. I'm less of like the quiet, shy, broody, don't say what they're feeling kind of an MMC. Don't get me wrong, I love all MMCs. I love all of our men that are so damn bad for their women and that love their women so beautifully in whatever their love language looks like. But I am a sucker for a confident golden retriever kind of guy, and Charlie was spectacular. The banter was so good. This one felt especially summery, and it was the whole book was them just spent out on the lake, in the water. I also really loved the side characters in One Golden Summer. I loved Alice's grandma, having her in there was so nice. I loved Alice's job and like the addition of her being a photographer and her describing all of the beautiful things that she captures through her lens. I don't know, somehow brought it to life even more, and like brought the imagery, like the visualizations of the lake and the house and their whole experience together just to life so much more. And I just loved their friendships. I loved the whole thing. I really loved it. Still somehow not a 5 stars, and I'm not entirely sure why either. I remember when I finished it going, that was fantastic, but not a 5 star, and I think I'm gonna give it 4.75. I don't know why. I think if I'd read it in another month, I probably just would have given it 5. I feel like it really depends on whether I'm feeling stingy or generous with my 5 stars, but there was something in my gut that was like, it's not a 5 star, but boy was it close. Like I recommend both One Golden Summer and Every Summer After, like the perfect little summer duology. Okay, next, I'm rattling through these because this is not just an August wrap-up video. We have a lot to get done over the next couple of days. What are we doing next? Okay, next let's do probably problematic summer romance. If you guys saw the vlog, you saw me reading this. This book was also so good. This book makes me feel so giddy. I don't know why. It was just, guys, Ali Hazelwood's so fantastic. I loved Maya. Connor's so grumpy. He's so grumpy and he's such a dick, but it was so good. I loved doing an immersive read of this. The audiobook is flawless. Connor's accent, well, it's not flawless actually. It's so good. Connor's accent is spectacular. The other accents they tried to do, not so good, hence not flawless. I loved how grumpy Connor was about the age gap. I loved how much Maya just like wasn't having it, that he was being so stubborn. But this is an age gap romance. It's the second book in an interconnected standalone after Not in Love, which is Rue and Eli's story. If you've read that book, you definitely don't have to read one book then the other. Some interconnected standalones, I really recommend reading one then the other. This one, you really didn't have to. Like, they did feel very separate. Rue and Eli are in it, so if you kind of want that build up of having their love story first before you go on to read the side characters' love stories from that book, obviously they're then the main characters in this book, then go for it, but you don't need to if you just wanted to jump straight to this one. It was sexy, it was spicy, it was fun, the banter was flowing. This could be my favorite Ali Hazelwood. Like I said in the vlog, I really want to read The Love Hypothesis again and see what I think of it if I read it a second time, but I think this would be my favorite. So good, so good. Oh, rating, I'm gonna give this one 4.75. Also not 5-star, like no tears. Though I didn't feel any like emotional depth reading it. This was just like a fun, fluffy time, giggling, kicking your feet kind of an energy, not emotional depth or tears. Whereas this is like a 4.75 for vibes. Sometimes I find it so hard that I feel like I really have to explain my ratings because it's like a gut feeling. This is 4.75 for vibes. Wonder Golden Summer and Every Summer After are like 4.5, 4.75 for like more along the masterpiece end. Like there was so much depth in these. I think these were like beautiful books. This is just like a funny, fun time, but so good. This is also a funny, fun time. Guys, you get me, you know my vibe. You have to just like learn what I mean as opposed to what I'm saying, because I'm not always that articulate when I get overexcited about books. Okay, then we read Love Theoretically. This is when things start to taper off a little bit. We read Love Theoretically. That wasn't amazing, to be honest. I don't know what I settled on the end for a rating. I think probably 3 stars, maybe 3.25. I really liked Jack. I think the pacing was dodgy. I'm not going to recap loads of what I said in the vlog. If you want to see my in-depth thoughts, then watch, I think it's last week's vlog. Yeah, last week's vlog when I read it. But basically, inconsistent pacing of plot, inconsistent pacing of the romance. The FMC's inner dialogue was too naive and too YA for it to then become a spicy book. And for some reason, that just felt a bit off to me. And I did like the FMC as well. I really enjoyed the FMC's relationship with her best friend. It was also a little bit too scientific and there was so much I mean, I guess it wasn't jargon, but there was so much physics in it and very deep technical physics language, which I just didn't understand. And there was too much of it to really Google and look it up so you knew what was going on. So I think that one just like slightly missed the mark for me, but I still enjoyed it and I saw it a good time. And if you're enjoying Ali Hazelwood and you want more Ali Hazelwood, I would recommend it. It's not like it was a terrible book, but I think if you're looking for a fun contemporary romance to read, there are better ones, and more significantly, there are better Ali Hazelwood ones if you want to support her as an author first before you get to Love Theoretically. Okay, then we've got to get through all this. All roads lead here. This was so good. This book gets better the more I think about it. Also not a 5-star. What is wrong with me? Like, these books were all fantastic, but not a 5-star, 4.75. This is a thick contemporary romance. It felt like a long story when I was reading it, but in the best way. It really felt like I dived into this small mountain town in Colorado and I was living there. Like, I set up camp, I wasn't leaving, and I just got to hang out with these characters for the entire time. Tobias Rhodes, our MMC, our very grumpy, slightly withdrawn MMC, who is such a nice man. I love reading about characters that are just genuinely lovely people, and Tobias Rhodes is one of those people, a truly lovely man. The relationship that develops between him and Aurora is so, what is the word, gentle. It's such a gentle romance in the loveliest way. This sets the bar for slow burn. I said this last week, but this sets the new baseline for what slow burn means. I mean, you really read, I don't know, 70% of the book, maybe that's over dramatized in my mind, but it feels like you read almost the entire thing before the romance like really picks up. But by the time you get there, you feel like the romance has actually been there all along, and it just builds in such a beautiful way. I loved all of the like nooks and crannies of the plot. There wasn't necessarily one huge plot point that we were following or building towards, but it was really the story of somebody building a new life and starting again somewhere new, and all of the little pockets of life that need to happen in order for you to feel grounded somewhere new. Like those were all the little plots. It was like lots of little things, like she needed to get a new job in the town, so you got a little bit of plot around her learning new skills to do that new job, and then she was also trying to reconnect with her mother who passed away through doing what her mother used to love. So you were going off and exploring how she was reconnecting with her mum. You've also got little plots about how she's disconnecting and disassociating with her previous life, the one that she's left behind. So there's little plot points around that. And then you've also got the plot of her and this new romance developing, and Tobias Rhodes, the MMC, has a son, so how she's building like there's so many, like I said, like nooks and crannies of the plot rather than one big plot that you're following, and I loved it. I don't think I've read a story like that either in a really long time or maybe ever before, so I really liked the uniqueness of this, or to me it felt very unique. I'd love to read more of Mariana Zapata's work and see if her other stories are similar and follow a similar path. I really felt like I got to sink into this one, and I almost wish I'd read it over a longer period of time, but I just couldn't help binge it. Like I really binged it because I got sucked in and I couldn't stop. But I think if you read this over a couple of weeks, it would feel even more immersive. Like I almost wish I'd taken my time and just lived in this town, or this village, this town. A village is a thing in the States. Do you have villages? Is that a really dumb thing to say? I feel like it's always small town, and they're always depicted exactly like what we would call in England a village, but it's a town. Anyway, that's like a total side note. I loved it. 4.75. For some reason, again, not a 5-star. I think it was the dodgy nicknames that probably knocked me back. But I loved this, like someone may love a 5-star. I know that still doesn't make any sense, but it was so good. Okay, but I've got books everywhere. I'm not making a neat pile. Next, I read First Time Caller by B.K. Morrison. Guys, this book was so fantastic. I'm getting more and more hyped up as we talk about each book. Also not a 5-star, but I'm also not sure why. Maybe this actually should be a 5-star for me. Oh, I don't know. Let's go with 4.75 for now. This actually, if I had read this at Christmas, this would be a 5-star. This is the most Christmas coded, festive feeling book ever. And it's not set at Christmas, and I don't think the word Christmas is mentioned once in the entire book. And I do not understand why B.K. Morrison didn't release this at Christmas and just put like a tiny, like a Christmas sprinkle over the top, like Die Hard-esque. It just needs to be set at Christmas. There doesn't need to be any Christmas in it. It's just set at Christmas, and this would be an immaculate Christmas book. Slightly ironic that the only other B.K. Morrison book that I've read was Love Like Farms, and that I also really enjoyed, but this felt more Christmassy than Love Like Farms. This felt more perfect. Right, okay, let's start from the beginning. Have you watched The Ugly Truth? My 2000s rom-coms gals unite. If you have, and you love The Ugly Truth, very similar premise. Man doesn't really believe in love, is the host for a radio romance hotline. Woman calls into the hotline, and they end up arguing and having like a big fractious argument over the phone, and essentially he ends up helping her date. Same as The Ugly Truth. The difference is that obviously in The Ugly Truth, I can't remember the name of the main character, Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler's character is obviously like not a sweetheart, is not an angel, but we love him. Aiden is an angel. Aiden is the biggest cutie pie. I love him. There is banter in this, there is yearning in this. It is so wholesome. There's like a tiny little bit of spice, but not a lot. Like if you don't like spice, I think you'd like this because it's not a spicy book. There's just like a little bit of something in there. I think just once or something. I loved all the side characters. Again, like really visual. I also immersive read this and I loved it. The audiobook is done dual narration. So he reads all of his bits, she reads all of hers bits. But every now and again, when they both are on the radio together, just the two of them, you'll get like, it's not quite a chapter, but it's like a little mini chapter. It's like a little mini segment that'll be duet. And every time one of those moments comes on, it hits so hard. The voice actor for Aiden sounds a lot like Adam Brody. So any of my Adam Brody girlies that like love him, the voice actor sounded quite a lot like him. And that's why I say he's a cutie, but maybe that's just because you like associate Adam Brody with being a cutie. But this book was fantastic. Everybody go read this at Christmas. Does anyone else agree that this is a Christmas book? Like it is a Christmas book, even though it's literally not, but like it is. It gave me every single festive feeling, and I read it in August, but what can you do? I'm gonna probably reread it again at Christmas. 4.75, but I reckon if I read it at Christmas, it could be 5 stars. Like there was nothing about the story I didn't enjoy. It was so good. Last one, Wildfire by Hannah Grace. I just finished listening to the audiobook of that and it was good. I definitely liked it more than I liked Icebreaker. I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars, maybe even 3.75 actually. Maybe that's a push. 3.5, 3.75. I enjoyed it. I do find this one and the last one, there's like maybe like a little bit too much spice in it. I think there's a little bit too much spice in it because there's no plot. Like truly in Icebreaker and this, there's no plot. It's just 20-somethings at college hanging out and like building a relationship together. I do think that Hannah Grace deserves a lot of credit and a lot of props for how much she teaches, a bit of a weird word to use, but like teaches in her books things like safe sex, using protection, communication, the importance of how significant communication is around having a sexual relationship, especially around like alcohol, and if you're under the influence of anything, then you can't give consent if you're under the influence of anything, even if like you think you're saying yes, you can't give true consent. And I think because the books are about adults at college, like they are 19, 20, 21 in the books, I think it's a super healthy thing to have those types of like references or conversations in books like that. She does like the woke thing. Woke is such like a weaponized word, but I think she does the woke thing really nicely, so she definitely deserves props for that and love that. But there is no plot, like there's no plot at all. So I do sometimes, when I started it, I was like, oh no, I think I'm gonna be a bit bored. I don't think I should have bought this, but I did actually buy it. I didn't have a credit to use, so I bought it for $7.99. So I was like, well, we're listening to this entire thing and we're gonna enjoy it because we paid for it. But yeah, it was cute. I did really like the found family more in this one, I think. Or having all of the gang that you meet in Icebreaker back in this one. I think the banter was better in this one. I think the friendship dynamics were better in this one. I think there was a bit more of like a dry kind of sarcastic-y sense of humour, which I really enjoyed. I would recommend them. It's not that I wouldn't recommend them. They are definitely like heavily on the spice, low on the plot kind of a book. Anyway, wow, this could have really been its own video, but we have a lot more to do. That is my wrap up for the month of August. It was such a good month. Summer is over and the contemporary romance shelf is officially basically empty. We have done very well whittling down the entire thing that was full, and now we have a moderately full literary fiction and other shelf, and we have an extremely full, which I don't know if you can see or you can kind of, we have an extremely full fantasy shelf. The time for cozy fantasies is now. I'm gonna go and do the updates for the journal for August, get that all done. We can tie a neat bow in August today, and then tomorrow we can pick up with September, choose our TBR, look at our bookish goals, and actually start reading a new book together. I think I'm not gonna read anything tonight. Tonight I'm gonna go and watch The Summer I Turned Pretty. The latest episode is out today. And oh my gosh, it's getting so intense. So I think I'm gonna journal in front of the TV with The Summer I Turned Pretty on, round out August. The Summer I Turned Pretty is also quite like a summery thing to round out a really epic bookish summer. And then tomorrow we're gonna pick up, surely we're gonna have to start with the fantasy. I don't even know, but maybe we'll get the TBR jar to pick for us. I'm excited. Let's get journaling. is crazy. I went to go make a cup of tea because it was like pouring torrential rain and all of a sudden the sun is out. Anyway, tiny thoughts on yesterday's episode of Summer I Turned Pretty. It was a little bit of a filler episode. It was the first episode of Barely in Paris. I haven't actually read the books, but I kind of know exactly what happens in the books because I've talked to so many people that have read the books. So I haven't read them myself, but I know what's happening, so I know what's going to happen. I feel like maybe next week we'll get more going on. Does anyone have any predictions? Are we thinking she is going to end up with Conrad? I assume yes. She is going to end up with Conrad. I feel like any other outcome would just be too unsatisfying at this point. Obviously she can't be with Jeremiah and she can't just choose herself. That's too infuriating for everyone that's stuck through 3 series of cringy, slightly painful episodes of a show we're all obsessed with. But I also kind of can't. Anyway, hopefully she does. Anyway, I have got here something very exciting. I have got some bookish unboxing to do with you guys, which as you can tell makes me very happy. I can't quite wipe the smile off my face. I feel so lucky because Bestie Mackenzie reached out from Heritage Candles and asked if she could send me some of her autumn bookish inspired candles. Yes, please. So I've been holding off unboxing these so I could A, do it with you, and B, do it when autumn was here so we could really get in the cozy vibe with some autumnal bookish coded candles. And we've got 3 here, so let's open them. I will say this box smells incredible. As if. Okay, candle number 1 is called Chai and Chapters. Guys, if you know me, I mean, I think we've peaked. I don't think it could get literally more perfect. Cinnamon, sweet cream, and light musk. Oh, oh my God. I think that's probably the nicest smelling candle I've literally ever smelled. This to me smells exactly like the end of November, when it's not full on festive Christmas, but it is for those that want to celebrate early. It's like that just before Christmas smell. Oh my gosh, that's stunning. And I think there's a little card here for Chai and Chapters. Is there a better pairing than a good book and a great chai latte? No. No, there isn't. This layered scent captures the warmth and coziness of cinnamon and chai spices, as well as the subtle complexity of cashmere, cypress, and fig. It's like wrapping your hands around a mug of your favorite warm drink. Ah, that is so lovely. Okay, I don't see how there could be anything better than that in here, because that is me. Chai and a good book, that is me. Okay, but we've got 2 more to open. I'm so lucky. Thank you so much, Mackenzie. Honestly, I feel so... It's actually also my birthday tomorrow, which I keep forgetting that it's my birthday literally tomorrow, but it is my birthday tomorrow. This feels like me opening my first birthday present. I'm obsessed. Oh, the next one we've got is called Burning Through Pages. Look how pretty they are as well. Like, literally stunning. Burning Through Pages, oak, leather, and sweet whiskey. Ooh, oh, I love that. That's very masculine, like very kind of sexy mountain man, MMC coded. Oh, that's lovely. That is one for the living room, actually. Living room by the fire. This is living room by the fire next to a big green armchair where I'm going to sit and read my book in front of the fire. This is perfect for the little side table next to that. Oh my gosh, that is stunning. The little card for Burning Through Pages. What's more luxurious than an afternoon spent in front of a wood fire? See? I smell the smell and I know exactly... See? The fact that I smelt that and that is immediately what I thought of and that is what was intended. That's that. Right, let me start again. What's more luxurious than an afternoon spent in front of a wood fire reading just one more chapter? Light this candle and lend any room a subtle air of relaxation with scents of oud, white oak, vanilla, and just a hint of smoke. That one is super sexy. That one's really sophisticated. I love that smell. As if that's like immediately what I thought of doing. I was like, this one belongs by the fire where I'm gonna read my book. Stop it. These are so nice. I can't believe I get 3 of them. Okay, and the final one is Harvest and hard covers. I told you guys I was in my hardback era. Crisp, apple, oak moss, and cedar. Ooh, this one sounds like it's perfect for now. Oh my gosh, that smells so much like apple. Like green apple, like really fresh but woodsy. Oh my gosh. Oh wow, that's so... I've never smelled anything like that before. That is a September candle. That is an early September candle. Harvest and hardcovers. That smells like the beginning of the season before everything's like super oaky and woody. Where is it here? Okay, the card for Harvest and hardcovers. If you love apple picking, warm flannel shirts, and cozying up with your favorite hardback, you'll love this quintessential fall candle. Tart Macintosh apple weaves together with earthy oak moss and warm amber to create a scent that captures the kind of autumn that exists in your favorite books. I have to say, I'm a little bit floored by how nice these candles are. They're actually perfect. All the scents are so different, but they're not like overpowering in a way that's like like sickly sweet. They're just like really beautifully done, and I can't believe how unique they all smell. Chai and Chaps I'm not going to light just yet because I do actually think this is perfect for a little bit later on in the season. I'm going to save this one for like lighting at the beginning of November. Burning Through Pages, I really think that does belong by the fire downstairs. I think it's going to have to be this one, Harvest and Hardcovers. Like this is exactly right now. The beginning of the season, apple picking, even pumpkin picking. It's like fresh. Okay, I'm going to stop gushing about these candles. I'm going to literally light this one right now and put it on my little windowsill. And this is going to really set the vibe while we choose our September TBR. I've got my cozy autumn candle. It's so perfect. Thank you so much, Mackenzie. Thank you so much to Heritage Candles for sending me those. I'll pop a link to if you want to get your hands on any of them, or if you've got anybody that's got a birthday in these months. Oh, they're so nice. Okay, right. I've got my candle now. I've got my tea. The vibes are officially immaculate. Let's do it. Let's choose our TBR for September. I'm actually thinking what I might do first, quickly, is swap the shelves around. I think it's time for the fantasy to come down a shelf so that we can access it and see it more easily when we're choosing our TBRs for the next few months, because we're entering our fantasy era. So we need easy access. Let me swap them around. Okay, here we go. These are the shelves. We've also got fantasy here front and center. We've got literary fiction and other, and then we've got contemporary romance just up there. We will be enlisting the help of the TBR jar. For anyone that doesn't know the deal with the TBR jar, this is she probably needs a name. We've got the TBR jar here and a load of prompts inside that will help with choosing a book from the shelves. I think I'm going to choose 5 books for September because we do have some very exciting new releases coming out in September. Wildcard by Elsie Silver I will be reading immediately when that comes out. I've also got People Watching still to read, which is on the shelf, so I would let a prompt pick People Watching, I think. I think Eldridge, which is the second book after Anathema, is coming out in September. I can't remember the full list, but there are some good new releases in September. So I want to make sure we've got some space to get those read as well. I honestly just can't keep up with the new releases at the moment. So we're going to choose 5. Okay, prompt number 1, here we go. A book by an author that I haven't read before. I mean, truly, you're never going to be able to read my handwriting, but it says a book by an author I haven't read before. Oh, fun. I feel like there's actually so many of those. Okay, let's have a look. St. Abbey I've never read, but I kind of want to save that for October. Obviously, I have read Taylor Jenkins Reid. Oh my gosh, there's so many options. Never read Kellyanne Bradley. It's honestly so many of the ones on the literary fiction shelf I've never read before. That rules out Rachel Gillig. We could read, never read Julie Soto, never read Sable Sorensen, never read Alex Astor. Guys, so like I'm like an author rookie. Like there are so many of these I haven't read before. I really feel like I've kind of just got pick of the draw. Yeah, I'm being really indecisive. I think I actually can't choose. I might choose another prompt to help me with the authors that I haven't read before, if you know what I mean. Like I'm gonna choose another one because I'm being so indecisive. And it'll have to tick both boxes. Oh, okay, we've got a book that is literary fiction. Okay, so I now have to choose one that is by an author I haven't read before and a book that is literary fiction. Okay, I've chosen, I actually feel like actively anxious. I've chosen The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I don't know why I'm so scared of this book. I think I find war really hard to read sometimes, and especially because this is about sisters. And I have a sister who I'm very close to. It stresses me out how sad this book may make me because everybody says that it's so heartbreaking. But people also say that they absolutely love it. So it's not like it can be a truly just a devastating book. It must also have some goodness in it, right? Like if people say that they love it. And I think I don't want to leave a book that I think has the potential to make me really sad for when it's like really dark and gloomy, because I think then mental health wise, I just don't want to mess with that. So I think a September read of something that's quite sad is probably a good shout. So am I probably going to put this off to be my last read of September? Probably. Could anyone that's read this please make me feel a little bit better about it? Part of me did debate, like, just don't read it. Like if you don't like war and you think it's gonna make you upset or whatever, then just don't do it. But I feel like I should. I don't know, I feel like I should. Could you advise me please? Do you think I should just skip it and it's just like not every book has to be for every person? Or do you think I should read it? Let me know. But the first book that we've chosen for our September TBR is The Nightingale. Wish me luck. Okay, that's one down. Let's go again. Back to the jar. Prompt for book number 2. We have A book that you choose based only on the cover. Oh, so we're choosing a pretty cover of a book. Okay. I think that has to be Rose and Chains by Julie Soto, because not only is this cover absolutely stunning, but the artwork on the inside, what? Like, what? It's also in the back. Are we all okay? Like, that is so beautiful. And so is that. And to be honest, so is that. And to be honest, so is that. Like, it's so lovely. I think that has to win purely based on the cover. This will also be my first ever Hermione fanfic. I have not read, well, I don't know if I can actually read Manacled anymore, but I haven't read Manacled. When does Alchemized come out? I'm not sure. Anyway, I've never read any Hermione fanfic. This is gonna be my first one. I mean, you can tell it even like looks exactly like them. So interested to see what I think of it. But this cover is stunning, and it's about time we read some fantasy, so. Okay, The Nightingale and, oh, we're very purple themed. We've got The Nightingale and Rose and Chains as our first two. Let's keep going. I love this jar. I love the TBR jar. We need to do some adding to it of prompts, or like taking some out and replacing them, like refreshing them. A book with a blue cover, a simple prompt. Okay, let's get out our book with a blue cover options. I think we've got Daisy Hates as an option. Maybe The House on the Cerulean Sea is kind of blue. No, I don't know if that counts. Study and Drowning blue? I would say that's kind of blue. This blue? I'd also say that's kind of blue. Kind of blue. Not that blue. Frederick Buckman I'm not picking up till winter. Okay, these are our options for a book with a blue cover. We have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, a very blue back, kind of a blue front. We have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soul. Very excited to read this one. Obviously quite yellow writing, but I think the dominant colour is kind of blue. I don't know what other colour I'd say that it was. We have A Study in Drowning, a different tone of blue. You could argue this is kind of teal, maybe leaning green, kind of blue. The House in the Cerulean Sea, again, there's a lot more going on, but that back is definitely very blue. Front, blue with some other stuff. And then Daisy Hates is also very blue, I think. A very orange spine, but very blue with some other stuff going on. Options. What have we got so far? So far we've got, I think I'm gonna eliminate these two and whittle it down to either Daisy Hates, Bury Our Bones, or Atmosphere. What do I think I might vibe with this month? To be honest, all three are so good and all three I really want to read. I think I might go for Atmosphere, you know. I do think that is very blue. I mean, I guess that part isn't so blue. But yeah, I'm gonna do it. In my mind, Atmosphere was gonna be a September read. It was gonna be on the list for September because in my head it just wasn't a summery book, but it's not necessarily like a wintry book either. So I think we're gonna go with Atmosphere. Right, I need to put these two back. Okay, 3 down, 2 to go. Let's give it a bit of a mix. I always try and grab them like right from the bottom. Oh, things are falling out. Pop that one back in. Okay, next, a book based off of a 5-star read. Interesting, very interesting. 2 books have immediately come to mind without even looking at the shelf. Okay. Yeah, the 2 that I thought of are the only 2. Right. People, what do we do? What do we do? Either The Night in the Moth by Rachel Gillig, again, stunning cover, because of how much I loved the One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns duology, or it feels too soon. It feels too soon somehow, or do we do Crooked Kingdom to finish off Six of Crows? I feel my adrenaline is pumping so much. I think I get too into this kind of thing. Why do I feel like I'm fully freaking out? Okay, I'm gonna do The Night in the Moth. There's only so much stress I can take in 1 month, and if we're tackling The Nightingale, I cannot possibly finish this. I need like I need a minute. This book is, I need a minute. This is it, this is the last one. Okay. Here we go, last one. Fun, because it's my birthday. A book that starts with E. E for Ellen. I can't believe I completely forgot it was my birthday tomorrow. I literally just realised that today when I was talking to you. But it's my birthday tomorrow. Right, a book that starts with E. That's so fun. Right, have we got anything? I don't want to completely neglect up there. What have we got there? Definitely nothing starts with E on the contemporary romance shelf. Ooh, okay. We've got, it's Anne, but I think we could count Ember for Ember in the Ashes. Oh, no, maybe even less, more, whatever you call it. I don't think we can count it. Anne, Ember in the Ashes, but we have just one book that literally starts with an E, and that is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Guys, I've been so excited to read this. Also a stunning cover. Probably could have chosen this one for the most beautiful cover as well. Look at that, it's so pretty. And so many of you told me that actually it's perfect for a winter book. I know we're not in winter yet, but I was going to originally read this in spring, or I felt back, oh, did I just see that the first chapter says something like 20th of October? Okay, this feels good. This feels good to me. Emily is an E, definitely. This feels strong. This feels like a really strong month. This is what we are looking like for our September TBR. We have probably one of the most balanced months I've had in a very long time. 2 literary fictions with Atmosphere and The Nightingale, and then 3 fantasies, but one of which being the Encyclopedia of Fairies being, as I understand it, like a cozy fantasy, not high fantasy. And then I guess The Night and the Moth is probably going to be properly high fantasy, and then Rose in Chains, I don't really know if it's kind of like a Harry Potter-esque world. It's like fantasy, but it's not fae, you know? We're still mixing it up and keeping it a little bit different. Guys, if we get through all of these, I think it's gonna be a really, really, really strong month. Okay, I still have a couple of hours before I actually need to get on with some work for the day. So I would quite like to choose a book. I'm gonna choose one of these and start reading our September reads. And this is the coolest list of books ever. I'm very excited. Right, I'm gonna go sit down and start reading, and I'll catch up with you in a bit and let you know what I'm thinking so far. Okay, 2 things. 1, I fear I may become obsessed with this book. I am loving the vibe. Guys, the vibes are really good. And 2, I just went to take off this cover and I completely forgot. I'm so pleased that the TBR jar chose this I chose this for the TBR prompt of most beautiful cover. I've just taken off the dust jacket. What? I'm dying. It says that Heartspring is mine, her mouth is mine, her magic is mine, her skin is mine. What? No, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm shook. I'm not sure I've ever seen anything like that on a cover before. And look at all the roses. I think I might become obsessed with this book. I'm only 50 pages in. And it's eating, guys, it's eating. I'm actually gonna continue this in a reading vlog, so I'm gonna leave this video here. Thank you so much for resetting for September with me. Thank you for resetting for autumn with me. It's been a lot of yapping today when I know we normally go out and about and bookshop and things, so thank you for sticking with me. I hope you are in the middle of such a lovely book. I hope you're having such a lovely week, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.